interrupt our program to bring you this important message.
Yo, it's Remember the Show. Slick with the flows, where the sparring can go. Who's gonna be on, man, you never will know. Guess you better tune in, cause we live from Chicago. Belal Muhammad, that's the king of the tweets. Jason Anik looks like John, step his hands to his feet. Every Thursday, we gon' give you a treat. It's Remember the Show, hit play and repeat. And retweet, and retweet, and retweet. And retweet, it's Remember the Show, hit play and repeat.
Oh, well, it's about time. Episode 19, Remember the Show, Jason Anik. Other dude on your screen you all know well. That's why you're here, the star of the program, Belal Muhammad. Obviously, no shortage of things to discuss, bully, but I'm going to start here, even though, yeah, you're moving now. I just got to start here, bro. I met you September of 2020, and I want you to know, and all your fans, family, friends, how much of an honor it's been for me to get to know you, how much I've learned from you and your perspective on life and fighting, and just how privileged I feel to be close to you as you're chasing this gold, baby. So I just want to start by saying thank you, man. I got all the love and respect for you in the world, and I had to get that off my chest.
So, honestly, brother, same thoughts, brother. Honestly, it means a lot coming from you, and I really appreciate that. And honestly, I'm glad that we did this. We started this, and it's good to have like a new lifelong friend.
Well, I appreciate that, man. And, I know I got a little serious on you, but watching, we haven't been on since after you beat Diego Lima. And for those of us that are close to you, obviously I'm not in Chicago. I don't live with you, but to follow this month of your life, it's been an emotional journey. It's been an amazing journey. I mean, it's crazy. So you beat Diego Lima. Our last show is the day the Leon Edwards fight is announced, right? And then we haven't seen you since. The last month of your life has to have been tremendously life-changing. I mean, talk to us about what February 13th to March 13th. Just
honestly, it's been crazy. And then not even just the whole main event thing. And then honestly, the crazy thing is the stuff that comes with the main event. Just like all the interviews you got to do. And then being a short notice fight, having a camera crew follow you around everywhere. And then literally I moved into a new house. So the last 3 weeks have been crazy. And just it didn't even get any less crazy fight week. Fight week is even more crazy with losing my coach. The fight ending the way it did, literally, honestly, it's been a nuts journey. But like, it's one of those where I'm going to sit back about a month down the line and I'm going to think back to like this and be like, man, how crazy it was. But it's a crazy, cool story though.
Well, and for you, it's absolutely a whirlwind. So I'm going to at least try and take us through it in the fashion that, there's so many moments over the last month where I wanted to bother you and I certainly didn't. So I'm going to bother you a little bit tonight. So the camera crew in Chicago and seeing you walk around with your dad and that whole experience, watching that for me, I know you, but like I said, I've only known you for 6 months and I heard the story, but for people like me who sort of know you, to be honest, and your fans out there, that was just incredible. Yeah, 140,000 on Instagram too. But it's interesting, that was just incredible watching that. And I'm sure for you and your family, that had to be really special to have that footage and be able to watch that.
Yeah, it was cool. It was one of those things where it's like people see a different side of you, see a different side of your story. And honestly, just to give my dad some spotlight, I got like literally when he watched it, my mom, we were in Vegas and my mom sent me a Snapchat and he was crying watching it. And it literally, to see that it meant so much to him. It was so cool just because when we were doing it, he was like the cockiest guy in the world. He was like, oh yeah, I was on the news once. And then they were recording him. And then he was like being so cocky with it. He was like, oh yeah, my son needs to be more like McGregor. He needs to talk more trash. And then the guys were like, oh man, he's good. He's like, he's a natural. And right. Then, after seeing it and play the way they did, they did a really good job of it. And I love the way that they told the story. And part 2 comes out tomorrow. So it's gonna be cool.
I love it, man. So another impact of this week that I don't want to go, undiscussed, Lewis Taylor, your head coach, Lewis Taylor. I've been thinking about this guy a lot, man. And so just so everyone knows, so 2 weeks ago, March 4th at 8:30, Belal sends us a text and says, man, send me and Cody, our esteemed director, a text, man, Lou got COVID. So I know most of you know all the story of you and Lou and the history and him being your head coach and your wrestling coach in high school and seeing at PFL when he wins the championship in 18 and seeing his little brother Belal running out there and cheers. I mean, it's like, and I've gotten to know Lou a little bit here, but just that not having, I know Safe Salud stepped in, I know all that, but I don't want to lose that moment of not having Lou. That's your brother, man. Talk to us about what that was like, that whole moment experience.
Honestly, it was crazy. It was like one of those things where literally been with me since I was an amateur. Every single one of my fights, he's been in the corner. And to not experience your first main event, to have him with me there, and usually because we were there 2 weeks early, so it was like I didn't even get the fight week with them. And then fight week's the best with Lou because like you get your mind off the fight. He's like everything's so nonchalant. He hates any guys bringing stress to the room, and he's that guy that literally like he knows me. He knows when I'm angry, when I don't want to be talked to, when I want to be talked to, when somebody's annoying me. He'll understand it because he's been with me so long. So like he'll sit there and he's the guy that like takes all the attention away. So like he'll come in the room. If he sees a bunch of people talk to me, he'll go talk to them just so I could do my own thing. And to not have him that week, it was just crazy. But it was one of those where he just kept telling me all week, like, we've been through this before. We knew it was going to be easy. We knew it was going to be hard. And it's just only going to make the story that much better. And just the fact that like he stayed down there the whole week with me in quarantine because he's like, I still want to spend it after the fight with you. I want to be there after the fight. And then there's always that small little chance because when he got tested, it was the Tuesday before the Tuesday we were actually supposed to be there because of the press conference. So then before the fight would have been 10 days exactly. So then we still had like hopes that on that Friday when they tested us that he would be negative. And it's crazy because we went and got our own test done on that the Thursday, and then he was negative. He went and got a CVS test done. It was negative. So we were begging the UFC. We're like, please give him another shot. Let him get tested again because we got tested after weigh-ins. We're like, please just give him another shot. He's negative. We had to show proof that he was negative. And then we finally convinced them, and they were like, okay, but you guys can't go near each other until tomorrow. And then, we had hopes. We're like, it's going to be negative. He's going to be in the corner. It's all going to work out. It's all going to work out. And then that morning of the fight, they were like, there's still traces. And I was like, oh my God.
And no symptoms, right? He wasn't sick at all, right?
No symptoms at all. It was nothing. That's why it was so crazy that we didn't even think that he had it because we were like, there's no way he has it. Like he's literally, it's been so long before he's asymptomatic. Like, come on. Like, why the fudge would this happen right now? Why would this be this week? And you're like, where would he get it from?
He didn't get sick when you got sick back in the
winter, right? No. And that was even more crazy because we were training together the whole time. We were working we were like, Lou's just not human. He probably has it, but he's just asymptomatic. That's why, like, even when he had it this time, we're like, we don't believe it. There's no way he has it.
I just, and I just can't, even the moments where you see you guys up in the window seeing each other, just for those of us that know the relationship, that was awesome to see. And I know he was there with you in spirit. And ultimately, there's going to be another main event for Mr. Muhammad, and there's going to be, whether it's a rematch or not, and Lewis Taylor will be in the corner. So there you go. Everything happens the way it needs to. But I just had to give Lou some love because I know how big of a part, and you guys are just so intertwined in each other's lives. And it's not just the head coach. This is the head coach and brother. You know what I mean?
For sure.
So let's get to main event Muhammad a little bit. So I thought you looked beautifully poised walking to the octagon. Loved watching you enter the arena, loved all the way and all that. But walking out, I thought you seemed extremely relaxed. Has Lou ever been on your corner before in a fight, by the way? Was that the first time?
Yeah. He's never been out of my, never not been in my corner yet. Even
it's an interesting dynamic, even, just that moment, the walk, that just not having him there, So anyway, I thought it looked great, walking out. I'm sure you felt very relaxed. And obviously, if jump to the beginning of the second round, I'm still sitting here waiting to watch round 2. That's sort of where I'm at. I know you've been on a media tour. I know you've talked to everyone. So in your mind, where are you at? What do you want to get into in terms of that fight? Where are you? I know we can talk about spinning it forward, but in that fight, talk to me.
Yeah, literally, you have so many people coming at me with, Leon was outclassing you and this and that. And I'm like, what fight were you guys watching? I'm like, we literally came with the mindset. Everybody had the mindset that I was going to come out there and pressure right away and get in his face right away. And kind of what I did with the Lima fight. But like I said, if you've seen my fights, you've seen the way I fight different every fight. If you saw me against Lyman Good, I was moving around more, reading about, and then this guy's literally been out of the fight game for 2 years. So we knew that he was going to come out hard, and we knew that we wanted to read what kind of style he's going to come out with, because he saw us 3 weeks ago, and we knew that he saw us with the pressure mentality. So we're like, he's going to think that we're going to come out hard, pressuring him. And as you saw, kind of like with the Aljamain fight, where Aljamain came out super hard the first round, and then by the third round, he was gassed. And that was the thing too. We knew it was a 5-round fight, and we knew that we didn't want to show that we didn't belong here. So like all these 5-round fighters, if you look at Cejudo, all these guys, they fight all smart, and they have a mentality of, this is a 5-round fight. This is a marathon. This ain't a sprint. And kind of like what happened with Gilbert Burns, where you saw him, he dominated that first round against Usman. But even with him, he slowed down second and third round because he came out so hard. And that was my thing. It was where I didn't want to come out crazy hard. I wanted to see what he was going to bring to the table. And then you adjust, you adapt, and you figure out what we're going to do from there. But for me, from feeling him, he shot on me twice, grappling mode, and I reversed them both twice. And I was landing hard elbow in the clinch, where he was supposed to be the clinch fighter. But like for me, it's more so, I know it's a lot of people trolling and just trying to get a reaction out of you. But like, I love that, a lot of these reporters like Ariel Helwani, DC, even Joe Rogan today, where they're all like, you deserve the rematch. The rematch makes the most sense. And for me, it does make sense, because I know that people could say that, oh, you got lucky because he gave you the fight. You shouldn't have had that fight anyway. But that's the storyline now. I gave him a favor. I took the fight on 3 weeks' notice. I was sitting there on the couch. I could have been celebrating my Lima fight, but this dude needed a fight. They needed somebody to step up. I stepped up on 3 weeks' notice, cut weight again, where people like Tony Ferguson will cut weight twice, and it affected him really hard, and it hurt him really hard in his fight. And people just don't understand it. And literally, I'm coming off 3 camps in a row, back to back to back.
That's right.
Yeah, and I didn't hesitate to say yes. And I took this fight, and it was one of those things where it wasn't my mistake. You're the one who did it. You committed the foul that you had a warning of about. So you had a chance of fixing that after he warned you the first time. They'll close your fingers, and you didn't. And you did the foul. You committed the foul. It's like somebody who goes robs a bank, and then they're looking for to blame somebody else about it. Like, oh, yeah, it's all right. I wouldn't have did it. But they're like, I'm sitting there like, this guy's just like so delusional with the way he's talking right now. It makes
I hear you. Well, and so obviously well documented. Rogan, I don't know if the interview was today, but certainly Rogan discussed the rematch with Leon Edwards a little bit, and I know you saw some. But I'm gonna read a quote from Rogan here just to take us off a little bit. So he's talking to Leon after Leon saying, "Oh, I'll win 10 out of 10." I can do a pretty good British accent, but I won't. But Rogan, so he said, I understand your confidence. I really do. And this is not to demean that at all, but you got to give the guy an opportunity. Oh, look at this solo screen for me, Mero. I love it. But anyway, and then he went on and on, into more detail about, what can happen in the second round of a bout. Do you know what I mean? And that it sort of starts and stops there for me.
For me, I'm sitting there looking at it like, if the first round is all that matters, then Chael Sonnen would have beat Anderson Silva. Gilbert would have beat Usman. Dustin Poirier would have lost to Conor McGregor the second fight. Like, that's the reason why there's 5 rounds. That's the reason why there's 3 rounds. Literally, it was 1 round. You didn't drop me. You didn't freaking ground upon me. You didn't freaking split me open. It wasn't a dominant. It was a 10-9. It wasn't a 10-8 round. So I don't know where you're getting all this confidence from that it was an easy fight. I could win 10 out of 10 fights. What did you see from that 1 round, that 5 minutes that makes you think that it was going to be that easy? For me, I was more confident. If you look at my corner after that first round, we were like, all right, well, we're relaxed. We're cool. We're like, all right, well, now we know what we need to do. Now we start.
I believe I got to say the fact that they cut to commercial during these, they cut to commercial during the corner. So you don't get to, and I was pissed. I couldn't see Lou last fight, but anyway, I believe it, man. And I that's the thing is like, I know I've said it 3 times now, but I was waiting for round 2 and that's really it. And so wherever it goes forward from here, the UFC, it's not always a meritocracy, if that's the right word, based on merit, but you know what I'm saying? Wherever it spins forward to you, it's going to be the way it needs to be. But either way, even if the rematch doesn't happen, you'd think that Leon would at least say that it's deserved given how the fight ended, Yeah,
that's what I like. That's the biggest thing for me is like, man to man, a real fighter. Like, if you committed the mistake, own up to it. Like, don't sit there and say, oh, well, it was just a graze, or it doesn't matter. I would have won anyway. Like, you just having that nonchalant attitude about it. Literally, you could have blinded me. My career could have been over
exactly
from a mistake that you committed. So it's like, have a little respect and decency. Don't be a freaking man.
I hear you. Well,
yeah.
And one thing that I just want to touch on that may be obvious to everyone, but the emotion in the moment, it was so clear to those of us that know you that the fight was over immediately because you had an injury that wasn't going to let you continue. And we were just as devastated watching as you were in the ring. And so I was a little bit frustrated about just some of the questioning with Mr. Herb Dean in that moment. But either way, to me, I'm thrilled no permanent damage, right?
Yep.
So
yeah, that's what I said. There's always a light at the end of the tunnel. Good things happen. Like I said, God makes things happen for a reason. He has a plan for everything. So it's like one of those where I know there's a reason for that to happen. And like I said, I gained a lot from even just that fight week. Just showing the UFC that, I was comfortable. I was comfortable in the spotlight. I showed him that I could do all the media. I could sell a fight. I could sit there and push that. I gained probably like 50,000 followers that week. He gained probably like 3,000 followers. Showed that people were trying to watch me fight. And it showed that people are interested in watching me. So hopefully it shows the UFC that they could push me more. They could put me at more main events and show that they have a guy that they could have a star with me.
Absolutely. And I love just seeing how down to earth you are during the week. It's like, because I'm wondering, I'm like, is this guy nervous? Like what's going on? I'd be, and it just seems, just so even keeled. And if you, like, I feel like I know you a little better now, seeing you walk to the octagon, you don't always feel that way. Certainly I think Sterling and Gilbert Burns, I think both mental and emotionally affected their physical cardiovascular efforts. I really do. Yeah. And so, how would Leon have held up rounds 3, 4, 5,
yeah, exactly.
So your suggestion about, I saw you push something out about opposing coaches on Tough. That would be incredible.
Right. That's what I'm sitting here. I'm sitting here like, I'm giving ideas, and for him, it's it'll help build him up, just because the guy, he's not interesting. Nobody really wants to see him. And for the UFC, it'll help them promote the guy a little bit. I think it'll make the season that much more interesting, because I'm a very interesting guy, and I know I'll bring a lot of personality to that season. And a lot, it's one of those things where Tough, the seasons lately have been boring, just because, you need coaches on there that are going to have a personality. They're going to push the season and like make fans want to watch. And I feel like that's what they need.
100%. Well, it's funny. I sent you a text like, hey, 100,000 Instagram followers, and it's like every day, dust, 140. So one thing that I didn't even remember, we'll talk about the 3 championship fights the prior weekend, but the donuts on your Instagram live, I've never seen donuts like those. I enjoyed watching. So you did go back to the establishment. So my question is, how many did you eat and what kind of donuts did you select?
Man, they were so good. Those are like next level. I was like, each one was like a pound. It was like so heavy. And it's like, we were all, my sisters came down from Chicago. So they came down. Lou ended up coming with us. So after the fight, we were able to all go there. We literally bought a dozen. I took a bite out of every single one. And they're all like, dude, are you literally going to take a bite out of every single one? I was like, I just want to taste them. But yeah, it was
I know cool. You like your sweets. You said send me pictures of sweets. So, all right. So the prior week, March 6th, 3 title fights. It's been so long, man. 12 days ago. It's funny. Like I say, I feel like your eye got poked a lot longer than 5 days ago. Maybe for you, it's different because it's real. But just when we get on here Thursday, sometimes it feels like eons ago that these fights happen. All right. So the 3 fights. So we'll start with the knee heard around the world. Aljamain Sterling has a strap around his waist. Doesn't seem like we're going to have an issue getting a rematch there, though, huh?
Yeah. Honestly, you got so many, like I said, where there's so many trolls out here like, oh, you faked it. I'm like, bro, he got kneed straight in the head. And you got people are like, some people are tweeting out like the knee didn't even land. And I was like, there's like no possible way. Like where you say where like the ref needs to step in and be like, yo, that's just too much. Because, 90% of fighters, they're always going to say yes. And they're always going to be like, they don't just out of just like pure want to be tough. I don't want to seem soft. Even for me, where I felt soft, even though I couldn't even open my eye. And I was like sitting there at the hospital, but like, man, why did I just lose this fight? Because I'm soft. And I was like, they're like, you didn't lose. You're not soft, this and this. But it's just the mentality you have. And I'm sitting there like, Sterling got kneed straight in the head. And whether he was losing the fight or not, it's illegal. Literally, there's rules in the fight game. And it wasn't like it was in a moment, kind of like where Anders did it, where he was just going crazy and he kneed him. Jan literally had his hand on his head, was looking at him for like 5-6 seconds, thought about it, and then kneed him in the head.
Right.
So all the blame's on Jan. Like there should be no blame on Sterling. Sterling should, like, you work your whole life to get that title shot. You work your whole life to win that title. You win that title. That's a title you earned. So
absolutely.
I'm just glad that they're going to do the rematch. And I'm glad that Sterling got 2 checks off of that. He's going to get his championship pay now. And he deserves it because, hey, he showed up to fight night. He fought. He came out hard, whether it was 3 rounds to 1 or 2 rounds to 2 rounds. He still went in there and fought, and
100%.
He got hit with the illegal shot.
Exactly. Well, the bottom line is, though, to spin it a little bit back to you, it's like, I'll be damned if you don't get another opportunity. You know what I mean? And John feels the same way, and Rogan and everyone who will, you got a whole army behind you, which So anyway, obviously that was a crazy fight. Can't talk about that night without talking about Amanda Nunes. I mean, what else can you say? Just scary good. At one point I thought Megan Anderson's leg was going to snap, and no disrespect to her, but it was clear that it was like she was in a cage with a lion.
Oh my God. Literally, she looked so scared. I was like, she's like white skin. And she was like, she looked like she didn't want to be there.
I hear you.
And I was like, man, I want to spar Amanda Nunes just so I could feel what it feels like to be standing across from her.
Dude, I hear you. And so, we could go on about her, but it's just, the gambling line, because, I'm from a gambling family, it moved a significant amount. I mean, Amanda Nunes at one point was like minus 1,200, where you're putting up 1,200 to pay you 100. It was down to almost minus 725 at the time of the fight. So certainly some action came on Megan Anderson late, which was interesting. But anyway, well, I know you want to talk about Mr. Blachowicz and is Adesanya. So Adesanya's not undefeated anymore. To me, Blachowicz, he wins his UFC debut, then he loses 4 of his next 5, and now he's a champion who just defended against Israel Adesanya. I mean, what a story! I mean, Izzy's going to be fine, but to me, the story is the big.
Yeah, that story is amazing. It's kind of like a Rudy story where you're like, this guy where you thought he was going to get cut from the UFC. He's like on the down, but like he's one of those things where people write the storyline and people have their idea what a fight's going to be. Even with me, when I was going to fight Leon, like, oh, this 3 against 13, he should be killing him. And I'm sitting there like, I don't believe that. I didn't go in there with that mindset of, oh, I got nothing to lose fight. I got everything to lose because I beat him. I'm fighting for the title next, or I'm in the number 1 contender spot. And the same way with Jan, where nobody believed in Jan. They all thought Jan was going to get killed, and Jan went in there with I don't know what you guys are talking about. I know how to beat him. I know what I need to do to beat him, and he showed that he's a real champion. Like, he's not one of those guys that you're going to make a big pay-per-view off of because, oh, John Jones against Israel next. Like, he didn't believe that storyline. Everybody else did. So it was cool to see that, and it's cool that he stuck to his guns. He didn't have to sit there and fake anything, fake trash talk or anything like that. The guy is like himself at all points.
Yeah, and I don't love using the term scalp, but to have the Adesanya scalp, I mean, no matter if you're fighting a smaller guy, it's like nice to sort of say you beat him no matter what. I mean, it's just
a guy that's considered the GOAT, a guy that literally they wanted him to go up to fight John Jones. So like, and you beat him before John Jones. So like, hey, you take that scalp.
So I know we got some Bics to make at some point. I know we're going to get some fans involved a little bit here. So should we make some Bics quick, or should we get some fans in here now?
We can hit the Bics right now.
All right, let's do it. Mr. Mero, you ready for us, sir? So, Bully, I know my Instagram and Twitter game is awful. However, so for me, right, you're out there and you're saying, this is what I don't want to be texted the week of the fight. Like, what's the line? I'm betting on you, right? So I sort of know your sense of humor. So I think you appreciated my Instagram post with my one Bic on
that was good.
I just figured try to lighten the moment a little bit, but I'm not big on that. To be honest with you, this Instagram, my brother's telling me I got a post or whatever. It's like I go on there to check out the fighters and stuff. Cody, I might need more love than you give love to Anik and Florian Podcast on the social media. All right.
No, that was a good post.
I'm being called out here.
Post is good.
No. You're not being called out. I'm calling myself out and saying I just might need some tutorials.
Anyway. Well, you're erring on the side of caution because God forbid someone comes up with a video ringside to John. They're like, "What are you doing in a wig talking about picking fights on Instagram? Like, what are you doing?"
I know. Well, that's why
fighters do it all the time on the show. So
I hear you. Well, that's why I didn't do the Leon Edwards British accent impersonation, because I didn't want. So, all right, move to the Bic. So, Bully 64% overall, 28, 15, and 1. Been a while since we picked them, so we will start here in the lightweight division. This is why I watch every fight, every prelim, because of fights like this. Leonardo Santos, Grant Dawson is the first one we're going to pick. So Santos plus 160, Dawson minus 195. Florian was talking about Santos on the podcast. He said he looked up to him when he was growing up. You know, he's a Brazilian jiu-jitsu legend. He never really fights, but he's never lost. So Santos plus 160, Grant Dawson, he's also on a tear. He hasn't lost in the UFC. So this is a pretty close fight. What do you got?
Yeah, it's one of those where Santos literally fights like once every like 3 or 4 years. He's been out a while. The guy is big though for 55. I think this is Dawson's going to be his first fight at 55.
I think so too.
Yeah, I think Dawson is going to come out wrestling, but I think Santos fought tougher guys, and he's got a big streak going. I think he's one of those guys where I feel like he thinks that he should be calling for the title shot or in that talks. But, you know, like I said, he doesn't fight often enough. But I think that now, I think he's fought within last year or so. So, like, I feel like he's trying to get back in there now. So, but I think Santos got this one. I think Dawson's a little bit too young. I think Santos he's fought too much, and he's a good veteran. And I think that he's going to be too long for Dawson. If Dawson comes out wrestling, Santos just is going to be too good for him.
Okay. And the dog there with Florian. I like it. All right. Moving on. By the way, I just have to say, nice new. We won't talk too much about the crib, but I like the new background. You don't have to remember the show paper in the back, which I'm a little disappointed about, but I'm liking the new background.
Yeah, this crib got a pool. So my next show is going to be out here laying on the pool once the snow's gone.
I love it. Well, you got to be getting out there in the winter like Wim Hof in the cold pool. All right. Second fight, co-main event. I'm excited for this one. Another one in the lightweight division. Gregor Gillespie, pretty heavy favorite here, minus 255. Brad Riddell, about a 2-1 underdog. So Gillespie hasn't fought since losing to Kevin Lee, November of 19. Still a heavy favorite here. Riddell has a 6-fight winning streak of his own. So couple of fireballs here. Who do you got? The co-main.
Riddell's striking is next level, but man, Gillespie's wrestling is next level. I think coming off that loss, it wasn't, I wouldn't say like too soon or anything for him. I feel like now he understands what that level is once you get to them top 5 guys. Because he really wasn't fighting any ranked guys before Kevin Lee, and then he got there, and you know, it was just one of those where he didn't get enough time to like just get his feet wet in that fight. He just got caught with the head kick. But I think this fight he's going to come out hard. He's going to come out straight wrestling right away, and I think he's going to be able to take down Riddell and control him a little bit more. I think I got Gillespie in this fight.
Yeah. I am with you there. All right, main event. I'm fired up for this one. Middleweight division. Kevin Holland is the minus 180 favorite against Derek Brunson plus 150. So Brunson, certainly a dangerous guy. He's won 3 in a row. His last loss against the aforementioned Adesanya, that was November of 18. And Holland, as we know, fought 5 times in 2020 and didn't lose. So what's the Bic in the main event, Mr. Muhammad?
This one's going to be good. I'm excited to see this one, you know, because Holland's one of those guys. All of his fights are exciting. They're fun. And then I saw the ESPN MMA posted this thing today of just all of his trash talk during the fight. It was pretty funny. But I think Brunson, his last 4 fights, he's looked super good, especially since dyeing his hair blonde. Brunson is next level. I think he's been fighting a lot smarter than his old Brunson, where he would just come out brawling and trying to get the knockout. I think he's going to try to wrestle Holland a little bit. He's going to control him a little bit more. And I think he's going to put an end to Holland's streak. We saw Holland get controlled against Brendan Allen. Brendan Allen out-grappled him, muscled him a little bit on the ground. I think that Brunson's going to do the same.
Shout out to BA. Love it.
Yeah, shout out to my dude over there. He just got another fight signed up too, so it's going to be a good one.
Right? Dude, well, it's going to be exciting when we talk about your next fight. I'm fascinated to see what I'd love to be in Dana's brain right now to see what he's thinking there. Because certainly Leon ain't calling all the shots.
Yeah, exactly. You haven't fought in 2 years and you think you deserve all these things. That's what I feel like. The guy feels like he's so entitled to things. I'm like, you haven't fought. Like you haven't. And literally the last guy you fought was Dos Anjos. Is there a ranked guy you've beaten right now that's in the rankings right now for you to hold that number 3 spot? Like, yeah, I deserve this spot right here. There isn't. Like the last 2 guys you fought are Dos Anjos and Cerrone, and neither one of them are in 70 right now.
I hear you. Well, you know, and like I'm watching the post fight after, you know, I'm watching the dude like sitting on the set. I'm like, what am I watching here? Do you know what I mean? Bully doesn't like me to curse. I'm not going to, but like, what am I watching here? I was all fired up.
dude, it's like doing a championship parade, like you just want to fight. And so I was sitting there like, what the heck is going on right now? Did I lose this fight right now? What's happening?
Well, exactly, and also too, it's with the scoring system. I think John made a point sort of like this on the podcast, but with the scoring system, it's like this was not a 10-8 round, and there are plenty of rounds. Like Angela Hill certainly could have had a 10-8 in one of those rounds, and she had 3-10. This was a close. The first round was not. The fight was not over, and Rogan certainly pushed that today. So anyway, we ready for the fans? The fan base has certainly grown.
Ooh.
That's a familiar face.
What's
Hello.
up?
Yeah. So my question is, obviously,
Wait, hold on. This is your tryout. This is your tryout to be a co-host with us. So you got to be more. You got to be more energetic. Like
right.
Next week, if we have J Lo or somebody on the show, like we got to show them that we have somebody presentable.
Right.
And Raheem, Raheem, sorry to interrupt, but this is not your first appearance on Remember the Show. Is that correct?
No, I failed terribly on the game show.
Yes, I remember that vividly.
All right, try not to fail the tryout now. Go ahead. What do you got for me?
Right. So obviously it's Ramadan soon, and I was wondering, like, you're medically suspended now for like 30 days apparently. So if they offered you the rematch during Ramadan, would you accept?
If they offered me the rematch during Ramadan, I would definitely accept. It's one of those now where it's personal, and I want this fight so bad, and I want to fight him now. There wasn't no bad blood before. A lot of people were telling me like, "Oh man, you guys got in each other's face at weigh-ins, and you guys didn't fist pound before the fight." I'm like, bro, because I'm about to punch the guy in the face. So it's like I'm not sitting there trying to be your friend before the fight. After the fight, we can shake hands. There's respect, yada yada yada. But like a guy at weigh-ins that just told me that he's about to F me up, I'm not gonna shake your hand, and I'm not gonna be your friend before the fight. So there was nothing personal before, but now, with this little parade and everything, yeah, for sure, I would take this fight during Ramadan.
It's a good question. I couldn't get enough of that weigh-in, by the way. I must have watched that. Anyway, I'm a fan. I'm like my brother, man. He's a fan of the fighters first. All right, Raheem, that was a pretty good question, man.
That was a good question, Raheem.
Thanks a lot.
I'm gonna mark you down as a maybe.
Ooh, I'll take that.
Thanks, Raheem.
Dude, there's so much we didn't get to. Yes, another familiar face.
Okay, all right.
What's going on?
We got familiar face here. What's up, brother?
We're just trying to learn from you a little bit as we grow, right? You got some you host some shows on your own, don't you?
We don't got no spicy noodles, but yeah.
No?
Yeah, I do. You remember Jason, yeah?
Yes, I do. All right, enough. Go ahead,
Ben. I just wanted, firstly, Belal, it's good to see that your eye has healed up, because the way it was a few days ago, like, it looked pretty scary. So
I appreciate that. Thank you, brother.
Yeah, because I know Jason was talking about earlier, like, even as a fan and as a friend, when you see something like that, like, it's pretty painful to watch. So even when me and my brother were seeing that, it was like, damn, that looks pretty bad. And the moment it happened to you, we were kind of like, damn, the fight is over. We just hope like you're okay. So first and foremost, it's good to see that you're in good spirits and you're okay. So that's what I mainly wanted to say to you coming on here. But I think I meant to ask a proper question as well. So let's say the fight doesn't happen with Leon, and the rematch, for whatever reason, doesn't go ahead. What fight would you want then instead? Obviously, I'm guessing you'd want a top 10. Who in the top 10 would you like to fight if that one doesn't happen?
That was a good question. That was not bad. You stuttered a little bit, so I don't know about the co-host thing, but it was bad. But I appreciate you, brother. It's one of those where if it's not that, like you said, I want a top 10. Hoping that they still give me somebody that I could main event against. A guy that I've always wanted to fight, Damian Maia. I think that would it makes sense. He's one of those guys that's right there where everybody who beats him shows that they belong there in that top 10. And I want to test myself against a good grappler like somebody like him.
Okay. Also, the reason I started is because it's 1 o'clock and I'm really struggling to stay awake.
Yeah, that's right. I remember that.
Appreciate you, bro.
Good man. Thanks for watching.
Right. See you later, Cody, Jason. Belal.
Peace out, brother.
Good man right there.
All right, we got. Who's this?
I love it.
Yo.
Hey, Quad MFT.
Yo, Frank Mir. Here we go.
Hey, how's it going, guys? I just want to
man?
welcome back. It's been a long time since you guys were on the air. Another thing I'd like to say is congratulations on your main event. Even though it wasn't the result that you wanted, I was really proud to see you out there, and I was really happy for you. So I do have a question for you. Out of all the little activities that were going on during your little main event thing, what was the most exciting for you?
It's not a bad question, and you don't look too bad to be a co-host. So
I hear you. I might take next week off. That was real good.
You got to get the man bun going, Jason.
Yeah, well, sometimes, but sometimes you got to let it flow a little bit.
For me, the best thing of fight week was being out there a week early. We were able to. We rented an Airbnb. It was crazy. We rented an Airbnb to hang out with just me and my team, and then if you guys know the Abu Zatar brothers, the Moroccan brothers in the UFC. They were out there, and those guys are like the nicest guys in the world. They're like, "Yo, get out of this Airbnb. We're gonna put you in the Wynn Hotel in the suites." So they put us in the suites at the Wynn Hotel, gave us free room service, anything we wanted to eat, anything we wanted. He's like, "You better press this button right here, free dining, whatever you want, massages, anything you guys want, we got you guys." And I was like, "Wow!" It was a crazy experience, because it's sitting there like I'm eating a $70 omelet and for breakfast. So it was cool. And those guys are probably like nice guys in the world. Shout out to them. And it was just cool to be there with my team and for them to experience it. It's crazy because literally when they moved us to the Wynn, that's when we lost Lou before that. So Lou didn't experience the room service or anything, and I felt so bad for her. I was like, "Oh, dude, you're missing this. They got cheesecake here. You're not getting any of the cheesecake," and his heart was broken.
Awesome. I do have one more question for you, though. It's kind of a funny one, but they were to offer you Leon Edwards or Colby Covington within the next few months, who would you rather take?
Great question.
Man, now that's one of those.
Love it. Couple of good ones.
That was a good question. Man, I don't know. I have a man. I think I'd have to go with Kobe. I always wanted that fight. I've been wanting that fight for a while, and I feel like the dislike I have for that guy is just way too much. I think I want that one.
Awesome. Before I go, I do want to say one more thing. I feel like Leon Edwards is dodging you because he felt your strength in the clinch, and I feel like he doesn't want to risk a loss to you. And that's all I have to say.
Appreciate you. That was a good point right there, and a lot of people don't understand that, but you're a smart guy.
Thank you. Appreciate you guys for having me on.
Well done.
You guys have a good time.
You too. I like that he talked about the main event because John and I talked a lot about that over. He's like, the poster's signed and you're on it. There he is.
Hey, how's it going, guys?
What's up, man? We missed you earlier. You looked like, I don't know if you saw Bill Belichick at the last draft, but it was a COVID draft, so he wasn't on camera. I thought you were doing that.
That's funny. I've got a couple questions. It's cool to be on the show. I just walked out of the room to ask my dad what I should ask Belal Muhammad because we have we watch every UFC card together. So I have a bunch of questions written down.
Okay,
so
came prepared.
Oh, definitely right here. So in the rematch, if it were to happen, would you change your game plan? Because I heard you somewhere that you said your game plan was going to be mainly wrestling, which I totally agree with. Your wrestling and your clinch is really strong. But would you change it if there were to be a rematch?
No, I wouldn't change it. Like I didn't even get started in my game plan in that fight. Like I said, it was one of those where it's been 2 years since we saw him fight, so we knew that he was going to be antsy. We knew he was going to come out hard, so we didn't want to go meet him head-to-head like that and just make it like that. So we wanted to be smarter with it, analyze what he was going to bring to the table, and that's what was the plan. So we didn't even get started with that.
I know. You looked great holding him up against the fence with those double unders. That was awesome to see. So another thing, also, if you were offered to fight Michael Chiesa next, would you take it? Would you take the fight?
Yeah, I'd take the fight. I would take the fight against anybody in the division. There was nobody in the division that I would say no to. And like I said, anywhere, the goal for me is gold. So like anyone that's going to keep getting me to that level, that's where I'm going.
Yeah, that makes sense. And another question. Sorry if I'm taking up all your time, but
no, you're fine. I got plenty of time.
Awesome. Do you see yourself working with or for the UFC after your career? I know it's far away, but
I mean, if they offer it, I'm going to take it. You know, it's one of those things where I love the sport. I love analyzing fights. I love watching fights. I'm a fan too. So, yeah, that would honestly be amazing if they did give me the opportunity. But if they put it on the table, I wouldn't be mad at it. Dana White's going to be retiring soon, so they need somebody to take his spot. They don't call me promoter bully for nothing.
You got it, CEO Belal Muhammad. So I agree with what the last guy said. You looked very strong in the clinch, and overall, I just wanted to say I'm a huge fan of the show, and I'm a fan of you as well. And you don't forget about you too, Jason. I know who you are.
Appreciate it. Where are you from?
I'm from Chico, California,
Nice.
near Sacramento. Around that area. I'm buddies with a guy who's on the come up right now. He was on the Contender Series, Nick Maximov. He trains with the Diaz brothers right now. So shout out to him. He's 6-0 as an amateur and 6-0 as a pro. He won his Dana White Contender Series.
Oh, the one that fought at 205?
He's
the 85er?
He was the 85er. He fought at heavyweight. He fought the 265.
Oh, yeah.
He's just smothered him with his jiu-jitsu. So
yeah,
shout out to him, man. Trust me, he can make it in the UFC. I'm telling you, Dana should have given him that contract, but definitely check him out. Nick Maximov. Check him out, man. He's my guy.
He was tough. I saw him.
Yeah.
So why didn't Dana White offer him a contract? Was it not dramatic?
He was an 85er that literally fought at heavyweight, and then he weighed in at like 90. And then the heavyweight was just so big, but like he wanted to fight so quick. So like it was more like a grappling match.
Yeah,
Bilal's brain is like a steel trap. That's another thing that's good. You remember all these fights. Like I'm talking about Kevin Lee fight back a couple years ago. I can't pinpoint. I mean that's good for analysts. You have that type of brain, but you pluck that. Yeah. Nick Maximov, your boy Belal remembers watching him fight.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, so he should have gotten the contract. He won the fight. He had over 100. Significant. I think he had 142 significant strikes, won every round, but didn't get the finish against a guy who was 80 pounds heavier than him. But whatever, I'm not complaining. He'll make it one day. But thank you so much, guys, for having me on the show. It's been awesome.
Thank you for coming on, bro. Great questions.
Man. Well done. Dude, this is what it's all about, man.
That was cool. I like that guy right there.
Yep. I love that we get these backdrops.
Yeah, Larry.
Yeah, how you doing? Sorry, I'm at work.
Larry's been waiting for so long, and I love that he's at work, so I had to get him.
Yeah,
nice.
Sorry, here. Going to see him at work.
Nice beard, Larry.
Could you help him out, please? Thank you.
I love it.
I got a good question. Sorry about that, guys.
Dude's passing someone off at work. I love it.
So, I need a haircut. Please ignore this.
Yeah, you're getting viewed by millions of people. You don't have a haircut. It's embarrassing.
Seriously, Bilal's blowing up.
I got a good question for you. So, if you could change your height, weight, and everything, what weight class would you want to join?
That's a weird question, but I would want to do a heavyweight just so I could eat whatever I wanted. If I was, give me 6'6", give me a Derek Lewis body. I'll take a Derek Lewis body any day of the week.
Okay.
Yeah, but you're a 5-round fighter. He doesn't want to fight 5 rounds.
Hey, Derek Lewis, he goes 5 rounds though. That 5th round, he has his knockouts.
Yeah. I also want to say you looked very good in that fight. I also wanted to ask. I was speaking with my coworker here. I was wondering. I'm sorry. I'm just so excited. If you could have started the fight any differently, what do you think you would have done differently?
If I started the fight differently, I would have came out and I would have poked him in the eye just so he sees how it feels. And then it stops him from even thinking about doing it. But no, honestly, I wouldn't have changed anything. There was a reason for everything that happened. Literally, I felt like we didn't even start the fight. We didn't even get the fight going. If it was like, if it got to the 3rd round, 4th round, and then the poke happened, and then we saw like, oh, well, you should have did this, or this. Like, I didn't even get started implementing my game plan. From that first round, what I got from it was I was going to be able to control the clinch. I was stronger than him in the clinch. He shot in on me twice first, so that it showed me that he had thoughts of wrestling, thoughts of trying to take me down, thoughts of trying to win the fight on top, and he wasn't going to be able to do that. So that's really the only things I got from that first round.
Okay. And then, I'm sorry, one more, and I don't know if this would be like too direct. Do you think the eye poke was intentional, or do you think it was unintentional?
No, I don't think it was intentional. I think it was more so the way he trains. A lot of guys, they train, they don't train proper technique. It's a lot of guys, they train with bigger gloves. So when you're training with bigger gloves, like you're used to opening your hands when you're kicking or something like that. I think guys need to start training with smaller gloves, and unless you're poking your freaking training partners in the eye all the time, like you're gonna realize that you need to keep your fist closed. And guys like him and John Jones, who they keep the fingers outward, that's just bad technique. And honestly, that's why I feel like people like that need to get penalized a lot harsher earlier on, so it'll deflect them from doing it again and changing their whole style. Because if you're getting points taken away right away, because literally they changed the whole thing. If your figures like this, there shouldn't be no warning. That's the rule. It shouldn't be no warning. It should be a point taken away right away. And then that'll stop guys from doing that. And that'll make guys honestly fight harder. If you lost the point in the first round, that's going to make you want to finish in the second and third round. So it'll help the UFC too if they start taking those points away right away.
I agree. Thank you for giving me the opportunity. You guys are amazing. Love the show. Love what you guys are doing here. And hopefully get to speak to you guys soon again.
Thank you, man.
Hey, thanks, man.
Hey, Belal.
Hey, what's up?
Assalamu alaikum, everyone. How's it going?
I like
Slim,
that
how you doing?
sweatshirt.
Hey, is that a shirt?
Shout out
Whoa.
to your rep. Gotta rep the merch.
Love it.
My
Love
dude,
it.
appreciate you, bro.
How's it go? To be fair, I'm a Browns fan. I would never buy anything from a Bears fan, but I made an exception for this one.
Oh, man, we just lost Trubisky today. We got freaking Andy Dalton. I don't think I'm a Bears fan anymore anyway.
Dude.
Dude, I used to live in Dubai. I used to wake up 4 a.m. just to watch Johnny Manziel disappoint me year after year. So. All right, Belal, first serious question. Cheat meal, what is it? Baklava, shawarma, what is it? I'm a big guy. I'm a thick boy. I need to know the food.
Love it.
Man, my cheat meal is desserts. I love desserts. I love cheesecake, peanut butter cheesecake, anything with peanut butter, donuts, anything with peanut butter. I'm a big cookie guy. If I get cookies with peanut butter, it's like next level. Literally, I used to buy Dunkin' Donuts all the time, and I would like smear peanut butter on them when I was a kid just to eat them. And it was like I wasn't fat, but like mentally I was fat.
Another thing I wanted to add. So I heard you talking to the schmo. You didn't mention Pequod pizza deep dish. So when I went to Chicago, I had to have Pequod. So what do you think? What's your thought on that?
I've had Pequod. Pequod is good, but for me, I'm a thin crust guy. I love Palermo's, man. Their sauce is so sweet. If you guys ever had it, it's really the best in Chicago. Every time I come back from any fight, we go straight to Palermo's.
All right, awesome. Last one is a serious question about the fights. So what do you think about if you get the chance to have the rematch with Leon, but would you change anything in particular in terms of like getting more into the clinch, or would you try to maybe mix it up and go a little bit southpaw just to swerve him out there? So would you do anything more technical in that regards?
Yeah, for me, we were planning to go southpaw as well, to play with it a little bit and just to change his mindset of everything and like mess with his brain a little bit. But like I said, we didn't really get started in it. We didn't do enough for me to think that, I need to change this or I need to change that. Other than that, like we literally had 3 weeks to train for the fight. So it was a quick turnaround. So maybe we'll see a little more in his game. So it wasn't one of those where we focused a lot on what he did. It was just getting me in shape and changing my mindset of the fight. So like I said, a longer camp, maybe we'll see something different. Maybe we'll change some things up. But from the fight, from what I did, I don't think there was anything in there where I was like, I should have did this or I should have did that. I got caught with a head kick, but it was nothing too serious where I was like, oh, why did I do this or why did I do that? I zigged when I should have zagged, but it was nothing crazy.
Awesome. One last quick one from me. Can you do a DNA test on Flash Gordon? So whenever you wear the kandor on that thing, he looks really Middle Eastern. You know what I'm talking about. Can you sponsor 23andMe?
Dude, he's half Jewish, so like he's right there. But it's funny because when we were in Abu Dhabi, literally everybody in the hotel, they thought he was Khabib, and all the workers, they didn't know who Khabib was, but they were like, "Go take a picture with Khabib." And then Jared, it's so funny. Like I'll tell you, say you're Khabib, and they'll take pictures with them. So like they all have their phones, probably thinking that they have Khabib on their screensaver, and it's Jared.
That's crazy. Shout out to Cody. Shout out to Jason, John, Anik, and everyone. Have a good one, everyone. Take care.
Appreciate you, bro. Next time.
Dude, it's like all these questions. All right, they're gonna keep coming.
Yo, what's up, man? Hey, is my headset good?
Hey, what's up? All right. Look at you.
Hey, salam alaikum, Muhammad. Hey, Jason, man, nobody's giving you credit for the hair, man. That's awesome.
I appreciate giving the lettuce some love. It's 2 years strong. Okay, appreciate that.
Yes, well, hey, I'm representing Arkansas, man. What's up? Hey,
Nice,
I got a question, man.
Bryce Mitchell.
Yeah, savage, bro, savage. Yeah, savage. Hey, I just got a question, man. So professional MMA fighter, man. What do you think's a better base? Having that jiu-jitsu base and that wrestling base, or having that Muay Thai striking, kickboxing base when you're in that professional level?
I tell all these guys coming up, you want to get it straight into grappling. 90% of the people now, you could be a great striker, but if you're a grappler, if you're a wrestler, you control where the fight goes. If you want the fight to be on the ground, you can take a guy down. So like I would tell everybody, the biggest thing that you need is grappling and wrestling. Not even jiu-jitsu, just having wrestling base more than anything, because the discipline and then the strength you get from just wrestling, it changes your life.
Yeah, for real. So, yeah, that's what's up, man. Yeah, it's awesome to be on here, though, man. So, what do you think about the gloves, though, for the UFC? You think like what Joe Rogan was talking about? I forgot the company name, but they got these a little bit more technological gloves where your fingertip, like it's a little bit harder to poke in the eye than what.
They're Onyx gloves. They have they make the best gloves, and then even with the Pride gloves, there's a little curve where you had to your hands are always like this, and like I said, if you're not able to do this or this, it's going to change a lot. It's going to help a lot. Well, it may not stop 100% of the pokes, but it'll stop probably like 50-40% of the pokes. But I'm sure the UFC is $1 billion company. They've been working on it. They probably have people back there that are thinking about it. There's probably a whole things that you need to do to get it done. But like I said, for now, like fighters need to change the way they train, and refs need to start being more urgent with the way they penalize fighters.
100%, man, 100%. So how did you start out, man? Were you more into grappling, or were you more into striking?
I came out as a grappler first. I was a wrestler, started out with that, but I was always interested in boxing. I always loved boxing, so I had a little bit of everything.
I've always been the same, man. I like to fight, man. I'm not much of a
You look like you're ready to fight right now. You're looking like you got a lot of energy just talking to me.
Yeah, man, savage, man. I'm glad I got to be on here, man. I'm glad I got the chance to be on here, man. You're one of the first fighters I started watching, man. You and Valentina Shevchenko.
Appreciate
savage.
You, bro. Thank you for coming on, man. Thank you, bro.
Yeah, 100%, man. Let me get that co-host, man. Let a young warrior get that co-host.
Dude. We're putting your name down. I appreciate you, brother.
Hey, salute, man. Assalamu alaikum, man. You're legit, man. I hope you get that rematch.
Like slam. Thanks, brother. Okay, that was some good energy right there.
How's it going,
what's up, bro?
How's it going? Hope everything's well.
Yeah, everything's great. What's up? What's your name? Crispy?
Yeah, Crispy. Gotta have some character. Main event Muhammad, right?
My dude.
All right, I got 2 questions. So first question, who are your top 3 favorite fighters of all time?
My top 3 favorite fighters of all time. That's a good question right there.
I like that.
You got to go with Habib. He's one of the guys I look up to a lot. The GOAT, Anderson Silva, with him as well. Just him in his prime. There's nobody like him. And then Frankie Edgar is another one of one of my favorite ones.
I love it.
Just because he was that small guy that still didn't have nobody telling me he was too small or anything like that. He won the title at 55, made it to 45, 35. He's still the best.
All right, my second question, what's it like training during Ramadan? Have you done it before? I know some of the fighters like Habib and Islam, they don't really do it. So what's it like to go through that experience?
Yeah, it's hard. I actually fought during it like 3 or 4 times already. It's rough, but it's one of those where I say that you don't really know how strong your body is until you put it through the ringer. Or like kind of like if you listen to like David Goggins and stuff like that, the stuff that he's gone through. If you ever read his book, it's crazy how strong and crazy your body is, and it'll adapt to different things. Like the first couple of days is hard, but then after like 3 or 4 days, your body gets used to it. So you go the whole day without drinking or eating, and I'm still able to get 2 to 3 practices in. And honestly, it like brings me and my teammates closer together, because a lot of my teammates will sit there and fast a couple of days with me just to feel it, because they see that I'm not drinking water or they won't want to drink in front of me. So it's cool.
Nice. Thank you guys for the opportunity, man.
Appreciate you, bro.
Thank you, man. Good question
That's
there. I
some-
like
that's some good
Frankie
questions
Edgar
going
getting
on
a
right
shout out.
there.
Adam Jabs. What's up, man?
Hey, what's up, bro?
Nothing much, honestly. It's an honor to be on the show right now.
You chewing some tobacco?
No, gum. I don't do the tobacco. I just sell it.
Are you at work?
Sadly, yeah.
No, that I love it. Second guy
But
calling from work.
I'm my own boss, so
I love it.
I got to be here. First off, I just want to say that you may think the main event didn't go the way you did, but we loved it. You know, that was watching you from the interviews all the way to the main event, walking into the song you walked out to. Everyone in the community coming in, man. Did you watch that fight, man? Belal Muhammad. He's from 79. He's from 79. It's like you're a superstar now, mashallah. Like everybody coming in, they're like, man, when's his next fight? When's his next fight? Like you said on the show earlier, you jumped 50K followers. What the hell did Leon get? You know? But just congratulations, bully.
Appreciate that, man.
Love
it
it,
means a
man.
lot, honestly.
Yeah.
Were you on our show once before?
I don't think so, man. It's
I
my
don't think
first
so
time.
either. That's cool, man.
Any questions?
Honestly, I was gonna ask about the gloves, but
Well, let me ask you a question.
What's going on?
Besides Belal Muhammad, who's your favorite UFC fighter?
Probably growing up, Anderson Silva. I just like the way he fought. You know.
Okay, that's not a bad answer.
And I'm not gonna lie. I don't know if I don't want to say it right now. Johnny Bones Jones. He's always been a fighter to watch.
Why? You think we hate Johnny Bones Jones?
I try to make sure that bully. You know what I'm saying? No beef between them. You know.
It's because of the eye pokes. It's like we're anti-eye poke in this program now.
Right.
I got a question though.
There we go.
So, you honestly are supposed to be sponsored by somebody by now, right? You rock the shades. What company or what brand would you want to rock in the cage?
Oh, that's a good
And
question.
in our group chat or something? Is he in our group chat? Is he getting our messages or something?
Seriously,
Adam, we're working. We're working.
We're working on getting some shades.
Right?
You're bringing something to the table here. Do you sell any shades out of your store? All right.
I do, but they're the counterfeit, man. You know what I'm saying? You're getting covered for rocking those.
Nah, we got some stuff in the works. Hopefully, we'll get a name soon, and we'll get a sponsor soon from a pair of shades.
I think Louis V would look good on you.
I was in the Louis V store this weekend. I was window shopping.
Yeah, I'm saying that happens. Though. Not every time you walk in Louis store, you gotta cash out. I got one last question. I seen you with Khabib in Vegas. Any key tips he told you or something you picked up off him that you liked?
Man, it's crazy to see Khabib as a coach and to be coaching his guys. It was a room full of like 20, 30 guys. And like he was running the practice. And it was cool to have my teammates jump into practice with him because, guys don't experience that. They're not able to train with Russians like that. Their teams are very shut down and small. Like had his arms open. They were like, yeah, you guys want to hop into practice with us. So it was cool. And it was cool to see like that they don't do nothing but hard work. It's not like they do anything crazy different. They're not sitting there doing outlandish stuff. It's just like they're pushing each other hard work, and then Khabib's hopping in there with them, grappling with them, and like he's even harder on his family and his cousins, where he's tapping them out super easy. He's taking them down like 20 times. Like he don't mess around. And then, it was just cool seeing all that.
You fit in with that crew, Those guys are all humble. They don't give up. They don't back down from nobody. That's something you'd look good with.
Appreciate that, yeah.
But I appreciate it. Tell Leon, drop location. I'm pretty sure you'll meet him up anywhere in the city. I'm excited for the next fight, man. Keep doing your thing, bully.
Thanks, bro.
Well done, man. Thank you.
Man, seeing Habib's crew, man, it was so cool. Seeing him as a head coach, I literally think he could be coach of the year. Like the guys they have in that room are just like nuts. They're all killers.
What's up, Courtney?
Oh, hello. Hey, dude, I just gotta say, Belal, what happened to you? It sucks, man. It's so awful.
It's pops. I love
it. But so are you gonna wear like the Kareem Abdul-Jabbar glasses? When you go out there.
It's funny because I actually got poked in the eye once at practice, and I had like I had to do like laser on one of my eyes, so I literally had to train with those Kareem Abdul-Jabbar glasses literally for like a month.
I think I wake up every so often hearing you say my eye. I mean, I was so afraid for you, man.
It was literally like the scariest thing like I dealt with, where it was like I'm moving my eye around and I literally couldn't see nothing. It was all black, and I was like, dude, am I blind right now? but like 90% of it was literally that I knew the fight was going to be over, and I was like, no way. Like, why did it just happen right now like this? Like, this is how the fight's going to end. And that was like hurt the most, honestly.
Yeah, especially after the Peter Yan the previous week, ending in a no contest or a belt, I guess.
DQ, yeah.
Hey, so are there any strikes that you think that are outlawed right now that should be legal? Like maybe the downward elbow? I don't know.
I think the downward elbow, you could do that just because it's basically off of what the ref sees. Like, I don't think there's a difference between this elbow and this elbow. Like, it's still an elbow. And honestly, the knee to ground an opponent, where it's like kneeing him while I'm on the ground or kneeing me while I'm standing up, still taking a knee to the face. And like you see it with ONE FC, where ONE FC allows it, and it just makes the fight more interesting. Like, I don't know about soccer kicks, but like knee to ground an opponent, I don't think there's anything wrong with those.
Okay, so then, what do you? I mean, I haven't been watching the whole time, so I don't know if you've been asked about the gloves, right? I mean, a lot of talk, even on Joe Rogan, they're talking about, well, Bellator gloves are better. Have you fought with gloves that are better than the UFC gloves, or you feel like are safer and don't hinder the performance?
I hear a lot of people say the Pride gloves, the old Pride gloves, they had a natural curve in them where they were like this. Even gloves that I train with have more of a natural curve in this. I'm just hoping they just change the technology. I know that Trevor Whitman has his own glove that's supposed to be the next big thing, but he's trying to license it to all the companies. So it's just based off of whether the UFC, I think the UFC wanted to make it only for UFC. So it's just based off of what they do with that. But I haven't seen their gloves. I've used his other gloves. I know that Trevor Whitman's a genius. So I'm hoping that those next gloves will change things. Because like I said, like, it's one of those things where a bad eye poke could change your career, where you could, that could have been the last fight I ever had, and it would have ended off a eye poke. So
yeah, you
never want that to happen. Yeah.
Hey, Jason, I want to hear. You know, I'm not a twin, but I think there probably you and John probably have some interesting twin swap stories. Has you ever been? I mean, obviously, you get mistaken for each other, or have in your lifetime. But anytime where you guys engineered it.
Very interesting question. Regretfully, we didn't engineer it as much as we should have, especially in our younger years, if you will. But no, I mean, not like, we've certainly always had a different look from time to time. One moment that I think about, I've met Uriah Faber a couple times, and one of the fights I was at a couple years ago, I just have this defense mechanism where anytime, and I didn't have long hair at the time, but anytime someone comes up to me with the UFC or in the fight game, it's like my default is like, no, it's not me. It's not me. So he came up to say hi to me, and I wasn't even there to say hello. I'm just like, no, I'm not John. I'm like, no, I remember, so, but for me, really, the one thing I'll say is just, it's amazing to get to know. My relationship with John is very unique. So guy like Paul Felder, for example, who John knows really well, we had Paul Felder on the show, and I felt like I knew Paul quite well, even though I've never met him. There's just really certain, things like that. But it's a great relationship, and I feel real fortunate for it. And this is unique for me to certainly sort of dive into UFC a little bit too. So thanks for the question.
Yeah, well, with the twin thing though, you just basically you said almost that you guys kind of read each other's mind. Right, because you felt like you knew him, like he had those experiences, and all of a sudden you had them.
Yeah, there's certainly a lot of that. Well, and I've said before, and I'll close on this, but that I watch a lot of these fights, scrutinizing John's performance. That's like, I'm no, for real. That's what I've been doing for
Do you
years.
give him tips?
Oh yeah, I mean, he nothing positive, but anytime I see something, yeah, I mean, and there'll be some. I could give you some examples, but I said this to Belal. It's like, yeah, I'm watching these fights, but I enjoy it, frankly, when John's not calling them, because there's I'm invested in his performance. I'll put it that way. Anyway, Courtney, you and your son, we appreciate it. We've been rolling for an hour, so we got to let you go. But thank you for tuning in. We appreciate you. That was a good one, man. I think that is it for us. It's a long night. But dude, I still have some of those guys are asking questions that I actually want to ask you. But one thing I just want to say, it's like everyone talking about the first round, and I think a little bit of a disservice is that's all we have is the one round. So people sort of are forced to make assumptions about that. Whereas that's why I said 4 times tonight, I'm just waiting for round 2 still. So
my brother.
Anyway. So we're going to get out of here. Check out Anik and Florian Podcast this week. Hey, Cody, are you guys doing live to tape, or did you take off the training wheels like Muhammad and you're doing live? What's going on?
I'm still
live
dealing with the crew here. So
well, anyway, we appreciate everyone tuning in. I'm sure we had a lot, hopefully some new eyeballs this week. But anyway, for Belal, remember the name Muhammad and our director, Cody Merrill. I'm Jason Anik. We appreciate you all. Peace. Have a good night.
Thank you, guys.
Everyone popping it.
Peace out, guys.
Good night, fellas.
Peace out, guys. Bully B. Let's go, Palestine. Let's go. Palestine.